What's up, Subie friends? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to finally talk about driver's mods, and that's all the mods that we've done to make this car handle the way it does. We're going to talk wheel specs, we're going to talk suspension, everything that I could think of. It's going to be exciting, so let's get started. But you know what? To do this properly, I want to get the car off of the ground so I can show you everything in a close-up kind of view. Yeah, I know, it's a lot extra, but hey, it's for you guys. Probably should have turned this light on before. Okay. Alright, if you have any questions about anything we talk about in this video, just drop them in the comments below. And also, all the links to everything that we talk about is going to be listed in the description. So with all that being said, let's get started and talk about these wheels. Alright, so wheel spec. That is probably the most asked question I get at all times. What is your wheel spec? What size are your wheels? What kind of wheels? Finally gonna answer that. Explain something. Alright, so wheels. These are the Work Emotion ZR10s, 18 by 9.5 plus 38 offset. And they're in the matte bronze. They are so cool. Now I knew I wanted to go with the bronze wheel look as soon as I saw Ben's car from Gears and Gasoline. That STI just looks so clean and I love that look, so I went with these. Nice. Now I know they're not TE37s and yeah, they're not even raised, but these were in the budget and I think they look really good. The bronze wheels look is definitely the look for me. Now for the tires, we went with the Michelin PS4s or Pilot Sport 4S's. That's the long version. We went to the tire size of 265, 35, 18. Now the most common sizes are the 255, but with the 265, they're a bit wider, and you know what? I wanted the meat. I wanted the fat, wide, as much tire as I can get. I haven't had any rubbing issues lately. I did at first. Alright, so here's a better view of the tire where it's starting to rub against the car. These are very expensive tires, so you know, kind of don't want to replace them right away. But I did roll this fender on the other side just a little bit and it took care of it. The main issue was right about here when I was doing the rubbing, but I took care of that and it does it very, very so often. Mostly when I'm on the 405 freeway, and if you live in California, you probably know what that's like. But the 265 tire gives you that cool, perfect stance, and I love how it looks. This is one thing that I love about running 265 tires, is look how wide these are. They are so big, so meaty. I don't think I'll ever go to a skinnier tire. Now, lastly, before I pull this wheel off, I want to say that I am running some really cool valve stems that I picked up from Subaru. These are OEM Subaru valve stem covers. I don't know, they're kind of cool because I have the STI at the end. And you know how much I love those little STI things. Alright, so behind our super cool work wheels, we got these Project Kicks centric hub rings. These things you probably should use. I think they do actually make a difference. What these are, they just keep your rims, they just keep your wheels nice and centered when they're on here. That way you don't get any vibrations when they're just sitting on the lug nuts. And there's probably some more technical terms, but I'm not sure why. Just to point out, if you do decide to buy these, they only come in sets of 2s, and you actually do need a set of 4, so don't make that mistake like I did and order just one set. You're gonna need all 4. I don't know why I thought they came in a 4-pack. I mean, logically, they should come in a 4-pack, but they only came in 2s. Now for stopping power, I'm running these super cool gyro disc or gyro disc, however you want to say it, 2-piece rotors. These things are so light, such a big difference than the stock rotors. These are slotted and not drilled. They provide better cooling. They're lighter. Another good point is that when you need to replace these, you only have to replace this part of the rotor and you can keep your hats. Such a cool look behind when the wheels are on. Holding on these cool gyro disc rotors are the titanium axle nuts from Titanium Works. Now these have an amazing pop of purple and it kind of matches our rotors. But I think these just look so good, like so nice. I mean, you can see their logo right there. They have this nice burnt titanium look. And I think this part, or this one little thing, was like the missing piece of my wheel setup. So over here we got the Brembo brake hardware that we got from Titanium Works. This setup is super cool. It has the STI logo engraved on the front of it. It's a small little touch that you might not notice unless you're looking closely, but that right there is one of my favorite things about the car. Eventually, I want to do the Brembo brake pens and the bleeder valve in titanium, but that's coming up in the future. Now, as far as brake pads, we're running the Hawk ceramic pads. These provide a great bite, and there's very little brake dust. Now on to one of our newest mods that we recently did this year, actually, are our stainless steel brake lines. These are the Faction Fab stainless steel or steel braided brake lines. Now, I thought I would not notice a difference between the brake lines, but you actually do. With the combination of the brake pads and the brake lines, this car stops so well. Now, inside these brake lines, we're also running the Multool RBF 600 brake fluid. Now, this combination with the brake fluid and the brake lines and the brake pads are fantastic. You don't have to worry about brake fade when you're running those canyons a little harder than you probably should be, or we're just having a fun day at the track. But either way, you know your car is going to stop, and that's just that much reassurance that you don't end up in a really bad situation.
I can't stop! Help!
Now, as far as the lug nuts, I'm running the Project Kicks 16x4 locks in black. These are the R40 Iconics. Now, these are 3-piece lug nuts, and I'm running them closed-ended, as in I'm running the caps that come with them on the inside. Therefore, no water gets in and causes any rust issues. Now, sometimes these lug nuts are a pain in the butt because of that one locking lug, because you got to get the key out and do all of that. But besides that, they do look really good, and I'm super happy because they don't scratch the rims. As you can see here, the new ones have a bigger acorn shape here at the top, which means that they'll fit the inside of the wheels a little bit better than these. Also, as you can see, these started to wear the coating or the finish of the wheels off. But since this one has a little spinny thing right here, it'll hopefully prevent that from happening. It'll still happen, but it won't be as bad. We're running the Master Brace Cylinder by Perrin. What this does is helps your brake booster from flexing against the firewall and eventually cracking. This was a pretty simple install, and I think it's one that you should probably consider doing. Now, when it comes to suspension, I am running a Fortunato Generation 8 500 series coilovers. I'm running their 8K springs on all 4 corners, and it's a pretty comfortable ride. Now I have all coilover rebound set to 8 clicks from soft. You know what? Like all coilovers, these are pretty easy to install. In my opinion, they're also one of the best coilovers that are on the market. Alright, you guys, for this next mod, we gotta go underneath for the car, so follow me under the car real quick. Let's go. So right here, what you're looking at are these Perrin front end links with the urethane bushings. I'm running the stock sway bar because the stock sway bar is actually pretty thick. From what I read, there's no need to upgrade that. So I left it alone. I just went with the Perrin end links. I think it's a pretty good combo. The new Perrin ones are just way more beefier and will hold up to a lot more torture. That's what we're gonna put this car through. But these old ones, on the other hand, I mean, yeah. Now, while you're also under the car, you can't really see it, but we are running the Cartboy short shifter. And man, talk about the difference. You will definitely notice a difference when you get rid of that clumsy old squishy factory shifter and upgrade to the Cartboy short shifter. In addition to the Cartboy short shifter, we also upgraded the bushings. The factory bushings are old and worn out, and they're made out of rubber. The new bushings from Cartboy, they're made out of polyurethane and they'll last twice as long. Not only does this make a big difference when you're shifting, but it makes a really cool winding noises from the transmission when you're driving. Okay, so we covered the front of the car and we covered the middle of the car. Now, we're headed to the back. So let's see what makes the back of this car so interesting. Okay, real quick in the rear, we are running Titanium Works axle nut, Project Kicks hub rings, and we are running the Faction Fab rear brake lines. These are the stainless steel ones that we talked about that are in the front. In addition to that, we have our Hawk brake pads in the rear, and we have some cool Fortunato coilovers in the rear as well. And these are set up just like the front, 8 clicks from soft, and they feel amazing. All right, there's one mod that I did pretty early on, and that is the white line rear diff mount bushings. Those bushings are polyurethane. Your old bushings that are in there right now are old and rubber and probably all worn out, which causes the car to squat when you step on the gas. And you know what? If you replace those with those polyurethane diff bushings, you'll get a lot better launches and you'll feel that diff is a lot tighter. You will absolutely notice the difference. So I think if you decide to do like 1 or 2 mods, as far as driver's mods goes, I would say do the Cartboy short shifter and the polyurethane bushings, as well as these diff bushings. You will feel a pretty significant change. All right, when we installed our Fortunato coilovers, we also had to upgrade our control arms. So what we did is we installed these Super Pro lower control arm. All right, so what we have here are the Super Pro lower control arms. The reason I'm changing out the original ones is because they have this on it. It's where you can adjust your camber. But right away you could just see the difference. Way more immediate than this one. This one has a polyurethane bushings, which will last way longer. So this one has the adjustment so that you can adjust all your camber. This one does not. Another good upgrade I suggest would be upgrading your sway bar. I'm currently running Perrin's 25mm sway bar, as well as their polyurethane end links. And like I said, with this combo, it is a pretty noticeable difference, and that's one that I would definitely recommend. For some added support on the sway bar, I'm running White Line's rear brace stabilizer, which is the gray bar here. Alright, Subie friends, that covers the video of all the driver's mods that we've done to this car so far. Stay tuned for some more STI content, because we're going to do the engine, and then, well, we're going to do a lot more videos to come. So, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Alright, peace out.
The second part of this test involves you. If you have been correctly installed as part of your stereo system, you will now lift the record up, turn it over, and replace it on the turntable with side 2 on the top. You will then proceed to listen to all of side 2. If you do not do this, you have failed the test, and you have the worst hi-fi system in the world, no matter how much money you spent.